I have a strong family history of glaucoma. My father was diagnosed several years ago, and what was quite interesting, it wasn't until I took this job that I even found out. We hadn't even discussed it as a family. And so I've learned so much about the importance of just discussing family history and diseases since I've been here at the conference, and why families need to talk more about what's going on health-wise. And so I thought it was important to be here for myself to educate my family, but also to learn, like, what is it that patients truly need to help them be more educated about the disease. I'm Ashley Hassell, a marketing manager with Allergan, an AbbVie company.
Thank you for joining us today. I want to know a little bit more about why Allergan is here today.
So Allergan is here today because we like to say your vision, our mission. And as I was doing research to improve our patient materials, I stumbled on the conference and I asked my boss, why aren't we a part of this? And I got permission. You know what? That's a great idea. And so I reached out to Maxon, and the rest is history. And now we're so happy to be here.
And I understand that this goes beyond just work for you. And what do you think has helped you and your family communicate better about the disease, or what might have been holding your father back initially?
I think it's weird, but there's some shame that comes with the diagnosis. Some of it is he didn't want to think about it, right? It's a little bit of anxiety if you think one day you may lose your vision. And so when I told him, hey, I got this new job, I'll be working in glaucoma, he was like, wait, I have glaucoma. And it was quite surprising. And so we had a whole conversation about just his journey, what happened, and why he never told me. And so we also discovered there's an even stronger family history in that my grandmother, some of my aunts, my one aunt is actually going blind because of the progression of the disease. And so we just recognized the lack of communication was only hurting our family, not helping us. And so we've decided to just be more upfront, because you don't understand how much hereditary diseases impact what could happen, but we've learned the importance of just this conversation, and education can help the next generation. And so I think that's kind of like how it all kind of came about. It was quite interesting and unexpected to kind of learn about this family history, as I thought I was just sharing a career win with my dad.
Were you also experiencing maybe some anxiety just knowing that you have a strong family history?
That first so I wear glasses, so I go to the eye doctor at least once a year, and honestly I didn't even remember having a glaucoma test, but then I learned that's what the eye test kind of does for you. And so the first appointment was very anxiety inducing, because now I was more informed, and so I was paying extra attention to when they're checking for the pressures, just honestly anxious and hoping that my pressure is normal, because I know that just with the strong family history, one day I may get the same diagnosis. And so every time I think about my glasses, I do think about how one day what will happen or how I may feel if I were to be diagnosed, and just trying to educate myself as well so that I can feel more confident about it and not be so worried, because I like to say control the controllables. You can't control your family history, but can I eat better? Can I exercise? Like, what can I do to kind of control that diagnosis if I were to get it?
And going back to Allergan, how do you think being here is beneficial for Allergan's marketing goals and overall strategy?
Yeah, so I had some brand marketers for some of our products here, and she was like, oh my goodness, I haven't realized how much of the patient perspective I don't always consider, right? So we know we have two customers as a marketing pharmaceutical company. You have the doctor and then you have the patient. And so just being so up close with the patients really puts that treatment journey into perspective, and it also makes us feel really good about what we do every day. And so we're here because we want to improve patient materials, not just brand it, but how do we help more patients be aware of what glaucoma is, what to expect. And so I've just been listening to different insights, because we have a myglaucoma.com website to help educate patients, but I want to make it better. And so I've been here taking notes on how do we improve our site and provide more materials for patients than what we have today.
To close it off, I want to know what has been your favorite part of the summit so far?
So far, honestly, yesterday session where I was able to sit next to a father who was here on behalf of his son to learn more about the disease and just listen and learn, but also just be there support, you know, telling them thank you for sharing. So that I have never been that, besides my own family, I had never been that close to a patient, you know, that potentially takes our products. And so it felt like a privilege, honestly, to just be here. And they were very transparent about the journey and the mental health struggles that come with glaucoma. That has been what's been most eye-opening. How it makes me reflect not just on my job and what we can do, but as a caregiver, right? My father is a senior. What am I doing enough for him, right? Am I asking him how he's feeling? So there's some check-ins that I plan to do when I go back home, just based off of the openness that the patients here have provided. That, you know, my dad, you know, he wants to be strong, right? So he's not going to tell me when he's not feeling great mentally, but now I know to check in more.
It's affects everything, right? It affects your vision, but it's also a mental health journey.
Yeah, someone described it as you go through the 7 stages of grief, and hearing that was really opened my eyes on how that diagnosis really can impact you mentally, and in giving you, there's so many anomalies, you don't know how you will progress. There's so much uncertainty that they're constantly dealing with, and so definitely put many things into perspective.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us today.